Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By. I'm Chris, but I seem to be all alone. Let me get a nap. Maybe someone will meet me there. Well, I found a kitty. Is there anyone else here in the dreamscape?
I don't have a joke. Shit. I can't find the joke. But here I am. I thought I was regenerating. This is Ames.
More like a hellscape nightmare. This is Caitlin.
I'm the Borg, I guess.
We're so good at these themed openings. We should do them all the time.
I think we need to coordinate them before we start.
Nope, I think it's better if we all just jump right in and all look stupid.
I'd just like to point out that once upon a time, Caitlin and I were on a podcast together, and she always scolded me for trying to do an opening bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing. That's
I took that podcast a little more seriously.
Also,
Did you, Caitlin?
There's no controlling Jake, so.
Jake isn't the one that did this.
No, I know, but
did this.
If we tried,
No, it would go horribly.
And I'm sure the first ever opening bit was a Jake affair. So, but who the fuck are you, by the way, who jumped in?
I was gonna jump in as the one infiltrating the Unimatrix, but I guess I'm just Liz.
And
I can't grab her to make her meow, but Balam is here, a little 9-month-old terror.
She'll probably be joining us.
She won't, because she'll be in her maturation chamber.
Bad.
Because she is very young. She is still a baby.
She's very tiny. She weighed in at 2 kilos 2 weeks ago.
What's that in American?
What is that in American?
About 0.005 football fields. She's 4.5 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's an itty bitty.
Kitty.
She's so
yeah,
tiny.
that's half the size of the black and the white cats.
Mm.
She's like a third the size of my previous cat.
Well,
Cicero was 14 pounds when he was 11 months old and sick from the shelter.
I mean, he was just a long, tall boy to begin with.
Oh, him long.
Yeah, he was a
boy.
giant.
Yeah, his skeletal structure was just enormous. So
Yeah, so I'm still dealing with the fact that she's just so tiny.
He'll adapt.
And she'll grow,
like
too.
the Borg.
Yeah.
There
the
we
thing
go.
is she's probably already pretty close to full grown.
Damn it, I had a segue going.
I'm sorry.
We're all
She's only 9
distracted by
months.
cat.
Fair. Anyway, this is A Star to Steer Her By episode 305.
Woohoo!
And sweet gibbering fuck, we are finishing season 6 and starting season 7 of Voyager.
One season left.
Something that once seemed so far away.
Right?
Didn't think it would ever happen.
Yeah, it's really quite bizarre.
It was supposed to take 70 years to get home.
But yeah, how do we wrap up? How do we deal with our final season finale premiere? Well, we deal with it via Unimatrix Zero. In Unimatrix Zero, Tom gets promoted, and Harry is kept from burning the entire bridge down by what's the fucking word?
Fire extinguisher.
Beep 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 beepity beep.
Oh.
SOS?
Yeah, they did SOS. I made a
Distress
call. There we go. Got it in 12. And they go to look, and it was a colony that got fucked by the Borg. Meanwhile, Seven has what she believes is her first dream, where she's in a field with people, and one of them knows her. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And the doctor is all, oh wow, you dreamt. And she's like, dreaming sucks, make it stop. And he goes, that's not how this works. But it turns out it's not a dream. It's Unimatrix Zero, a place where some Borg drones wind up when they go into the regeneration cycle, where they remember who they are, and they get to just kind of chill in this Matrix lounge, but without long leather coats and guns.
But lots of batliths.
So many. And they remind us, oh yeah, no, you used to come here all the time, because you also have the random mutation that lets you do this. And in the meanwhile, the Borg Queen is trying to figure out where this is coming from, because, it's a threat to the perfection of the Borg. And the Borg and Unimatrix Zero are aware she's getting closer. She's looking into it. Can you help? We've developed this virus that would, do things, but the problem is we don't remember anything when we snap out of it, so we need a counterpart in the real world. And she gets Voyager people to agree, and there's this whole to-do where Janeway, Tuvok, and Torres all purposely get assimilated, but have, Normal Hoodly-Whatsits installed so that they're not fully assimilated at first. So they can install the virus, but of course things go slightly awry. Tuvok gets, fully absorbed, and Janeway gets captured, and
Torres seemed fine.
Huh? Yeah, she was great. She was because the writers forgot she was there. She was fine.
As usual.
Yeah, poor bastard. So the Queen, just starts blowing up whole ass cubes that she identifies even single affected Borg on to try to make Janeway feel bad. Joke's on you, lady. Janeway loves blowing up ships.
Seriously, especially Borg ships.
That's the thing. Queen doesn't realize
she prefers to blow up the ship she's on, but
well, that's the thing. She doesn't realize the Queen actually is slightly tapping into Janeway, and that's what's making her do this. Janeway is overwhelming the collective with her need to self-destruct.
I accept this.
And this is why a woman can't be president.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
The hell was I saying?
Janeway 2024. Nuke it from orbit.
I mean, frankly, better than any of the other options we're going to get, probably.
Yeah, Mulgrew Weaver 2024.
Hey, nuke it from orbit. I love it.
Yeah. And then, the Queen is all tell them to stop their little rebellion. I'll let them come back instead of killing them. I mean, they'll be drones, but they'll be alive, and I'll stop blowing ships up, and they won't have their little clubhouse. And Janeway's fine. And she does a message where she's Unimatrix Zero needs to not exist. Giant wink. Oh, did I say giant wink out loud? And then double flips off the Queen. They shut off Unimatrix Zero, which is kind of a bummer, but those drones that were singular remain singular and might start a little resistance that, let's be honest, probably nothing's going to come out of. And there was an unnecessary B plot where it turns out Seven used to have a boyfriend and it was boring.
Oh, he was cute.
The relationship or the B plot, which
Both?
was boring. Okay.
But I didn't need a romance subplot. It was forced.
Shallow and pedantic.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like in that case you would have preferred the original idea.
I don't know about that.
I wasn't expecting this to come up so early in our discussion, but I'll lay it on you right now. So originally, instead of Axum, our kissy-faced lover man, it would have been Magnus Hansen. Somehow not dead? Question marks.
He definitely blew up.
And he would have been the one who architected this whole cyber underground thing for the Borg. So it would have been him that created Unimatrix Zero in the first place.
That's her dad, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I mean, at least that would have...
I keep forgetting he was Ugg.
At least that would have... I don't know, maybe in some way redeemed his character.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Technically speaking, they had just enough fudging room in that episode that they could have been no, he wasn't on that sphere. He'd already left. It would have been a little convenient if her old man was part of all this, but then again, it's already fucking convenient that Seven is the second most important Borg since Locutus, so...
First important.
Seventh important.
Gross.
But yeah, I guess,
I didn't mind him. I didn't mind Axum, and I kept thinking to myself, are they gonna bring him back in Prodigy?
No.
I mean, I have nothing against him as a character, I guess. Why? Why was this romance subplot necessary? Why couldn't they have just actually
because she's
been
a woman.
friends?
Listen, somebody's got to be sticking it to Seven.
Fucking
she's
hell.
not allowed to be an attractive woman who is alone.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me, but
I wouldn't say it bothered me, but it
seemed
just
unnecessary.
Yeah, it felt unnecessary. It's surely that airtime could have been spent on something better.
What did bother me was the prolonged shot of the Doctor feeling sad.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
Which part was this?
When the Doctor's talking to Seven about her boyfriend.
And he was sad it's not him?
He looks all...
We closed the book on that chapter. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Not at all. Even if Axum had just been actual just friends legit. Fine. Ugh.
It's just... It's a lot to retcon onto her history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't remember any of it at first, so it's fine.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like, if that alone, like, I was like, okay, that's interesting, because that that means there was this whole section of her life that she was living already in a rebellious state that she just doesn't remember. Cool. And oh, by the way, and of course, and she was in the long-term relationships. Oh, of course she was. Okay. Does that add any dimension to her character? Not really.
No.
Her moments where she was kind of trying to be more chill that was interesting. She did start to play the character differently when she was in the Unimatrix.
Yeah, they kind of started that, which I thought was interesting. But then once they introduced the romance, I don't know if this was like a conscious decision to have her kind of revert to her more normal Borgy self.
I think so, because she was trying to shut everything out because she was upset.
She was pulling away from him for sure.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
I liked the idea. And like one of the big complaints I've had about 7 of 9 in Star Trek Picard is that I don't feel that she's very 7 of 9-y.
No.
It doesn't feel like an evolution of the 7 of 9 character. It just feels like a different character in Picard.
But I like the character, so I don't mind.
I don't mind I don't mind that the character is what it is. I wish there had been more of a connection to how she is in.
Well,
in
I
this
sort of
show.
feel that way about every character in Picard, though. To be honest, like I feel like it's just that they don't know how to write any of them. Maybe they do and they don't know how to act them anymore. I don't know which it is, but it definitely feels.
I will say, actually, though, it was funny you say that, Jake, because I remember thinking, like, in the few scenes where she isn't 7ing so much, I was like, I guess I can kind of see how this woman turns into the woman we meet in Picard.
Yeah, and that was the thought that I was, that's where I was going.
Oh, sorry.
The thought was that, yes.
Okay, I get you.
Did not mean to jump on your idea.
No, that's
also
fine.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't getting where he was going with that either, so we've spelled it out.
Jake, won't you continue spelling it out?
No, I didn't. No, that was the point.
Terrifying silence.
Shit, I didn't realize that's where it was going. I stole your thing.
No, it's okay. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Jake, toss salad and scrambled eggs, am I right?
There we go, back on track.
Neat. Okay, so here's what I want to start bringing up about this episode. Because every episode, let me rephrase this. One of the largest complaints I know Voyager gets is that they overuse the fuck out of the Borg. Every single episode that has a Borg-centric theme going on, I'm like, okay, is this the one where I'm going to feel like this has been too much Borg? And I still haven't gotten there, because every episode that has a Borg theme, we're learning something new, we're doing something different with them.
Yeah, I'd say by and large, like, because I similarly went in with, again, a poor memory, and we're really, really at the point where I went from, most of season 6 was kind of where I started to fall off, and then season 7 I was basically gone.
Oh, interesting.
So I'd been waiting, like, oh, where's all this Borg shit they were talking about? And I think people were just, unsurprisingly, over-exaggerating. Because, yeah, I'd agree. I don't think really it's felt terribly over-egged yet.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the specific complaints are that people have, but one complaint that I have heard about the Borg's use in Voyager is that it takes the Borg, who in TNG are kind of portrayed as almost a force of nature. You know, they can't be reasoned with. They can't be, whatever they say about the Terminator.
That ass.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, they take this thing that's kind of like a force of nature, like a literal swarm of things that is going to destroy you, and is very, very scary. And then in Voyager, they're less scary in a lot of ways. They're just kind of another adversary. They can be dealt with, and you can make deals with them, and you can make friends with them and things like that.
Well, I think, that really, you can't blame entirely on Voyager, because I think they started that in First Contact the minute they introduced the Borg Queen.
I was going to go back into Borg with Hugh.
Well, so that's an interesting thing, and something that I was thinking about during this episode. So Hugh obviously had a malfunction.
Yeah.
And disconnected from the collective. And then he's, in a lot of ways, he's like these drones in Unimatrix Zero, that he has this sense of individuality. And it's interesting that in Hugh's case, he was able to kind of liberate the other Borgs on his ship.
Oh, and Descent.
And then they promptly go and join a cult.
Yeah.
Which makes me concerned about the Borgs from Unimatrix Zero.
Them kids ain't right.
One of the new shows is going to retcon it that Hugh was a denizen of Unimatrix Zero and maybe in fact was the cause of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they retcon. I mean, I honestly don't think Unimatrix Zero is going to come up again in Star Trek.
Probably
I would be
not,
very
but
surprised.
if it did,
I think a closer possibility. I mean, yes, Hugh's ship was broken. That's kind of why he broke. But
yeah,
but that 7 of 9, she had a Hugh moment when they crashed.
Yeah, with that trio,
with her friends, that they could all listen to each other, and then she narked on them.
I don't know if the timeline works out for that, though.
True, but it is interesting that those are 2 incidents that happened to 7 of 9, both the brief liberation there in which she went back, and then also simultaneously maybe was part of this Unimatrix Zero.
Yeah, just sounds like there's a flaw in their operating system.
I say, the Borg are buggy.
Yeah.
Well, they said this is every million Borg drones might have this recessive gene that allows them to go to Unimatrix Zero.
That's a lot of Borgs, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, and
but it's a very small percent.
Yeah.
It seems, though, you can somehow spread it willingly if you want, because Korok takes over his whole sphere.
I'm assuming he just murdered all 64,000 other Borgs in hand-to-hand combat.
Typical Korok.
Or actually, no, he was on a sphere,
Classic
so
Korok.
he only had 11,000 people.
11,000 to contend with, yeah. No, I'd buy it. Crazy bugger. I imagined, when he's in the dreamscape talking about being a warrior on the battlefield and the bedchamber, somewhere in the Alpha Quadrant, his widow just goes like, no. And she doesn't know why she did that, but she did. But yeah, no, I think, because that was definitely one thing I thought, was I generally liked the main concept, but I was like, the Borg Queen is only around in her suit so much for the audience.
I have a new theory about Borg Queen that I think, because I know you're like, the Borg Queen kind of lessens the whole that they're like, one hive mind thing. Why do we need one person being the voice of the whole hive mind thinger? And I don't know where I came up with this, but it makes more sense if you think of Borg Queen as their IT person.
She is dealing with a bug.
Like, we only ever really see her because she doesn't seem to always exist. Like, they seem to create her out of spare parts and shit. Because we see her get created in First Contact. We see her get created in the Dark Frontier, I want to say. And she just kind of like appears out of nowhere in this one as well. Because there's something going wrong that she has to fix, because you need someone with a singular perspective fixing the problem.
Yeah, no, and that's, yeah. I don't mean, like, even with her being in the episode, I just feel like, except for scenes where she was talking to Janeway directly, it just would have made more sense in universe for her to be a disembodied voice. But again, that does not make for good television.
Yeah, you got the Borg Queen outfit and makeup, you gotta show it.
Yeah, but like in, reality, quote unquote, she would not bother standing around in her shell when it's just her and the drones. Except maybe that one she's trying to intimidate at the beginning.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Disassemble him. Oh.
And he didn't know what was going on, you find out, Because at that point, it's the cold open. We don't really know what the deal is. So it's like, oh, he really didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
Whoopsie.
But yes, I do enjoy the idea of the IT queen.
Yeah, she tries turning it off and on again. That's what she did with that guy.
And then she just turns it off when she starts self-destructing cubes. So I'll just buy a new one. Fuck it.
Yeah, we have so many.
I mean, I guess that's very much in the model of, previous Borg behavior of just like this is it's the same with the kids where they're on their cube.
The Borglings were somewhat conspicuous for their absence in this one.
The dronelings?
True.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's a good point.
Like, I don't know how you could have, I don't know how they would have been integrated into the story, but it's the fact that they were completely not there. It's just like, it seemed, that's the only problem now, is if you have a Borg story and they don't show up, you're like,
where are the kids?
Everyone's going, where are the kids?
Won't someone
in
think
Poochie voice.
Maybe it was 10 o'clock. Yeah, they don't know where the kids are.
Right.
We got a quota of millennial jokes to make, I'm pretty sure, right? So
yeah,
we do.
Oh, speaking of not around much, anyone else slightly amused, perplexed. What was your reaction to Officer Neelix in episode 2?
I'm trying to even remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't remember this either.
I do not remember.
Apparently, no impression whatsoever, because I have no clue what you're talking about.
In the second half, when shit's going crazy, they've got Neelix at that little baby station they have on the railing behind Chakotay and Janeway. Their little, like, the mini version of Worf's from the Enterprise D that they almost...
I did not notice that.
He was doing shit.
Was he doing shit
like,
or writing recipes?
No, at one point he was like, something's on scanners, he was handling communications, like he was doing things, like out of nowhere, and then he was gone again.
Well, they were desperate.
Like they were just like, oh fuck, we haven't had Ethan say anything, and his contract stipulates he has to.
That's true, yeah, because there's not really much for Neelix to do in this whole episode, so... What?
Yeah, I mean, he was
you have him called, you put him in the makeup.
Yeah, there's no room for him to do heartfelt conversations or, trying to cheer you up with Uncle Humor. There's just no room.
Yeah. So it was just so random. It's like, fair enough. Hi, Neelix. How you doing, buddy?
He's doing great.
I have no good way to segue into this thought, but like
one of done it.
Like one of the first thoughts as I'm watching this episode is, so they've got the Matrix.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's even they didn't even try to hide it in the title.
Yeah, and it's a year after the movie came out.
Yeah.
So
which means they may have already been working on the script.
Well, they've been using the word Unimatrix since they introduced 7.
Yes.
True. But yes, it is still kind of and I was thinking this, maybe this would have made it too much like the Matrix, but like, and the Borg Queen even comments on at one point, like how sort of unsophisticated the Unimatrix is. And it's like, especially once they got to start fighting off Borg, they couldn't have dreamt up anything fancier than batleths and, seemed weird.
Yeah, 7 made herself a little cute dress. What else can you do in this place?
Have some Looney Tunes antics. A Borg is coming to get you. Fucking anvil out of the sky. Flat. You win.
That's how you do it.
Bada bang. You Home Alone that shit.
That was the other thing. Like, when the Borg first started showing up and chasing them and catching and doing whatever, I was like, okay, that is a little horrifying that, like, you go to sleep, you wake up in a paradise place, and now it's being raided, and you have to wait to wake up. Except then everybody just started waking up whenever they needed to as the plot demanded it later. So I was like, why doesn't everybody just
turn off? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good question.
You flip the bird and blink away.
As soon as you see the Borg, everybody all right. And they just all vanish.
Yeah.
I don't want to stick around to get zapped.
No.
Why would you do that? There's nothing, like, either they have to make it so that you don't have as much control over leaving, or there has to be something compelling that requires you to stay in the Unimatrix. And unless I miss something, unless there's something to do with like the stability of it or something like that needs to be continuously populated.
Not that I caught.
Right. I kept expecting, when Borg Queen is going on her killing rampage and just taking out whole cubes, I kept expecting there to be one of the scenes where someone is talking to you in Unimatrix Zero and their cube just got destroyed, so they just wink out and they're like, "Oh no!"
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that too, and it never did happen.
Yeah, if they could have done the not like this, just like
not like this,
or that similar scene in The Empire Strikes Back, where the Star Destroyers are all going through the asteroid belt, and like he's on a Zoom call with and like you see one of the ships take an asteroid, cut to Vader, and one of the guys, you see him look up and vanish. You see his last moment going, It
was a good touch in that movie,
It was, and it was pretty subtle, too. For Star Wars, I mean.
Yeah, I was going to say, subtle in my Star Wars? No.
But I was definitely waiting. I was waiting for that.
God.
I was waiting for that. Like, they seemed to be setting up for it, and it never happened. I don't know if maybe it just was a scene that got cut, or it just somehow genuinely didn't occur to them that they had, propped up this Chekhov's fucking shotgun.
It sounds like they kind of forgot the rules of Unimatrix Zero, because the concept is very interesting. I love the concept of this Unimatrix Zero thing. It makes it tragic too that these people don't remember things at times, and when finally they get this virus essentially that allows them to retain their memories, like that's actually a good thing. You're like, oh, neat. But yeah, it was interesting, but I don't know if it was entirely fully fledged and consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think just like the origin of it, the genesis of it could have been
Magnus Hansen.
Right. I think that would have been an interesting plot point. Maybe just not enough time to do it.
Right. We also see
2 episodes, but
some Borg children running around, and since we know Borg children are just in maturation chambers, does that mean they're always in Unimatrix Zero until they're mature enough to pop out?
That is an excellent
question. That would make sense, I think.
Yeah, and then they would have no memory.
Stasis of some kind.
I did find it interesting that that one kid who interacted with the Borg Queen once she was in there, like, talked about you're here to assimilate or something like that. Like this kid didn't know what assimilation was.
Yeah,
because presumably he had spent his entire time unconscious in the maturation chamber.
Well, when we first meet that kid, he's like, "Oh, some men came aboard my ship, and everyone was screaming, and have you seen my parents?" So we actually see that kid when he's fresh.
That kid, by the way, his makeup pissed me right the fuck off.
Oh, he had those things that I think the people in Muse had.
Muse, which is not a society that has spaceships. Like, come on, Star Trek. I know you sometimes reuse designs, but this episode was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but how many people look exactly like humans?
That is
I know,
fair.
but fuck's sake, guys. Like, at least give it a full season before you reuse an alien forehead.
They spent all their costume budget on getting The Rock. I'm sorry. It can't be helped.
It's worth it.
And that CG opening with the Queen's head, which for, 2000 TV CG looks
pretty good.
No, I thought it looked quite good.
Sure.
Like, it would be acceptable enough, today on a lower budget show.
Yeah, and again, especially, I know we say this all the fucking time, but on a CRT, that was probably no more than 30 or 40 inches, at not even 40, like, even better,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was an interesting sequence there, and it kind of, I think, lends credence to the idea that, they sort of create a queen as they need her, just because, like, we're assuming she's telling the truth, but she supposedly had a life before this.
Oh, yeah.
So she was just some drone that somehow became the queen, which suggests they do, in fact, just, when they need a queen, take a drone, and guess what? You're promoted.
Yeah, well, I think the impression that I've had is that the queen is sort of like a function of the Borg, right? Like,
yeah,
when there's an isolated, like we see it anytime there's an isolated collective, right? Like the one in First Contact, they had a queen. We see it in Picard season 2. There's a few queens at various times.
We go through so many queens in this show.
So yeah, it's almost like I think the Matrix analogy is apt, perhaps, because like the Matrix kind of seems to work in the same way, where there's just like functional beings that are like programs,
like the Agent Smiths, or what?
Well, like the Agent Smith, but I'm thinking more of like the architect character or the Oracle character that are like they're just programs in the system that bring order to chaos or what have you.
Yeah, I think you said it once, Jake, that your thought of her has always kind of been like she's always there as the program. She's part of it, but they only actually have like an entity in very specific scenarios.
She's your, like, Norton antivirus, and every so often it's like, virus detected, create Borg Queen.
Yeah, like when you've hit a particular level of fucked up, or, and who knows, maybe they've started using her more in the past decade or so, because they realized, all right, maybe this will work on the humans. Maybe they need a face.
Yeah, well, that was sort of their
experiment. Which I think you might have said
experiment
once before.
Yeah, that was their experiment with Locutus, was like, we need a voice. We need someone that can, these humans, they need a good talking to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think, again, I don't think we'll ever get a full exploration of the Borg.
I would prefer not.
Yeah, I'd prefer not as well.
Yeah, better just to... Rarely do they give you the full origin of something that's been vague for a long time in any media, and it's satisfying.
Yeah. Right, yeah. They try way too often on things, and you're like, that's what you came up with?
It's always disappointing.
Just leave it.
It just makes me think of Stephen Moffat and the Weeping Angels. It's like, you went too far.
Yeah, well, cool concept, but just done too much.
Yeah, well, that was more like, because they still, as far as I know, haven't given them a firm origin, but they definitely overused them, and what was a fairly straightforward kind of thing got needlessly complicated.
Or how about, Klingon foreheads in TOS? We don't need an explanation for that. Worf saying we don't talk about it with outsiders is enough.
That's enough.
Yep, that was plenty.
Agreed.
Anywho.
Yeah, so we've got Janeway doing the thing she loves best these days, and that's sparking civil wars.
Yeah.
Because she did it with the Q, and now it's like the same thing. It's like, okay, here's what we'll do. We can't fully figure out this Borg problem. That really isn't our problem, but they did ask. Let's see if we can set them against each other.
I know that, to the fandom and even to the world of the show, it's the Borg and Picard. That's the big thing. Janeway has fucked up their day so many more times than any Enterprise officer ever has.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If the Queen has a massive hate for anybody, it's Janeway.
And we see it
in this episode.
Else.
Yeah, she sees Janeway on the TV screen, and she just says it's like Super Nintendo Chalmers. Janeway. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one.
I love when these two cross paths because, God, they hate each other.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful.
And they have great chemistry. And
they do.
Janeway with a batleth at one point, and I was like, yes. I don't know where she got it. Suddenly there was a batleth in her hands, and she went to town on some Borg.
Well, I think it was Korok got knocked over, and she grabbed his.
Oh, maybe.
Something like that.
Do you think Korok's...
Is this going to be a Legend of Zelda joke?
Oh, yeah, I was going to try to work in Hestu somehow.
Oh, Hestu, I love him.
I want Buff Hestu to show up and take out the Borgs.
Oh, there hasn't been a good Buff Hestu cartoon in a while.
That's true.
I wonder what happened.
It's funny, Jake. I was just thinking, because I just realized, even though I said it a couple times and was looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, Korok! So we all three had the same kind of split second. Hold on.
Yes, and then he'll... To thank the crew of Voyager for joining him and saving his friends from the Borgs, he bestows upon them the Korok's greatest honor, a turd.
A big gold turd.
That's the one.
Golden turd.
Oh, man, I hope he's going to be in the new game.
When's the new game?
Soon.
There's a non-zero chance it'll be out by the time this goes up.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's out sometime in May, so...
Awesome.
I will look forward to watching you play it.
I will dance the Hestu dance.
So Janeway comes
up
with this ridiculous plan that we're going to go get ourselves assimilated, and then step 3, profit.
When did it become super fucking easy to undo all this Borg shit?
Yeah, exactly.
When the fuck did that happen?
When you have one as a permanent member of your crew who has no problem with you constantly poking and prodding her.
But no, because she's still got a bunch of shit that's still on her. She's still got her ocular whatever and her...
Well, yes, but see, they were able to...
thing.
It's because they haven't been Borged... It's because of the Borg, anti-Borg spray that the doctor put on them before they went.
Yeah, sure.
They were able to have some preventative measures.
But here's the thing, right? So Janeway initially is like, I'm the captain. I got to go do this on my own. Nobody helps me. And then Tuvok is like, well, you must because of regulation,
logic.
bullshit. And then B'Elanna is like, no, I also have to go because of regulation, bullshit, extra bullshit. And yet both B'Elanna and Tuvok were pretty fucking useless on that mission.
Torres helped in the central plexus thing.
I think she's the one that actually probably handled the upload since Tuvok was lost and Janeway was in a cage.
Torres was the one that got us out of it again.
Didn't they already upload it before they got before Janeway got captured? I feel like there was a scene where Janeway ordered B'Elanna to do the upload, and...
Well, then B'Elanna still did it, though, didn't she?
Yeah, but she just pressed the button, man.
Well, and then she had to do things.
Janeway had to be checking on Tuvok.
Tuvok was actively a detraction from that mission. He made it much worse.
I loved it because for a fucking change, it was Vulcans aren't the whole ultra-powered, omnipotent things they usually are.
Yeah.
And it's like, great. You get the tail side of the coin today, Vulcans.
Maybe, in fact, ironically enough, maybe it's because they got those fancy brains that are good at linking things, like it was easier to break through.
Maybe.
Which is a nice counteraction to what part one was, because in part one I have a note for that says, once again, mind meld solves problems.
Yep. This was a conference call mind meld, too. That was kind of...
and I thought that actually pulled me out a little bit, that I think it was the doctor even said it's a conference, like he used the term conference call.
I missed that.
And I was like,
he did.
That's a little dated there, Doc.
It's a weird anachronism. Like maybe if Tom had said that.
Look, in the 24th...
like they had in the 21st century.
Look, in the 24th century, the save icon is still a floppy disk. Yeah. So the word conference call
True dat.
survives.
That's a good point.
That's probably true.
Fine. Yeah.
We still say hang up the phone, and kids are like, what does that even mean?
So I know I kind of alluded to at the beginning, but what the fuck? Tom has been demoted and re-promoted.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And Harry's still an ensign, and he points it
and Harry even says it. like been
what
waiting for a pip. Janeway's like, yes, Tom, for exemplary service over the last year, I expect more of the same. And Harry's like, I've literally died for this ship so many fucking times. What do I gotta do? Who does a guy gotta fuck around here to get a promotion?
I mean, Tom technically fucked the captain, so...
Yeah, I made her pregnant with weird old reptile
Lizard
babies.
Yeah.
Hero babies.
She just can't allow her children to have a father who's only an ensign.
That's fair. I mean, the shame.
She did it for the children.
Shame. She really did it more for herself, really, because like the kids don't care, but she's like, ugh.
The kids are dead. They were eaten by a predator.
Nope, they're fine.
They're
running their planet.
They're hyper-evolved.
They were adopted by Kif. It's fine.
Guys, I think we all know they were destroyed utterly by Nevok.
Yes, that's true.
That's what actually happened.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for drawing attention to my terrible fan fiction.
No, it was great. I don't
care. No,
links below. Find it on the Tumblr.
Tumblr.
I don't know. I thought Tom was picked up that box and was really hoping it was chocolate. So
that's what I thought too. I was like, "Ooh, Valentine's Day already."
He's just waiting for that engagement. Disappointed yet again. Oh,
she went to Jared's.
Did you guys see that?
Jared is on deck 7.
Terry Metalis was toying with the idea of including Captain Harry Kim somewhere in the last season of Picard.
I did see that.
Oh.
You know what? That's all right, though, because, the way Picard works, there's a decent chance they would have fucking killed him.
Don't spoil it for me yet, but yeah.
Oh, no,
they kill Harry Kim.
Oh, God.
But here's the thing about
poor Harry Kim.
Captain Harry Kim is that...
Too fan wanky for one.
Well, exactly. And here's the thing. Every time, and I know why they do it, but every time we see a future version of a character that was on the show, they're a fucking captain. It's
That's
always
true.
a captain.
Captain
or an admiral.
Bev.
Maybe he could be a lieutenant.
Like, there's not enough ships in the fleet for everyone to become a captain.
Well, especially not after everything that keeps fucking happening.
That's what I say. Keep in mind, they lose a lot of people during the Dominion War.
Fair, but I don't know.
There's a lot of room for promotion.
I mean, personally, I would find it more interesting to, if anything, to sort of like a more interesting or subtler working of the meta problem of Harry never getting, like it's in story, but it's also meta, just like the running gag of Harry never gets promoted, to sort of just imply that maybe Starfleet wasn't really like what meshed with him, and a future Harry Kim, like an older Harry Kim, it would be interesting to see him
clarinet star
have left Starfleet and found something else.
Well, I mean, honestly, he's earned a fucking honorable discharge for all the shit he's done.
All the times he's got
killed. He could also just be like, because, we find out from that alternate timeline, he did also have an interest in, like, design.
Yeah.
So he could decide, he gets back to Earth, goes, well, that was fun, I'm never going to space again. And just, stays in Starfleet, but as a designer, you probably don't have captain designers, So he's
go
a
the
commander.
Reg Barkley route and just get a job in a lab.
He's a commander somewhere, engineering, or he's fucking teaching the class right after O'Brien's at the academy.
Because it's sort of fast. It's easy storytelling to just sort of evolve everybody up the same career ladder. They're just like, everybody's in Starfleet, everybody stays in Starfleet. Why? Because we don't want to think of them, like we don't want to think in terms of all the diverse and varied ways that people's lives go in real life.
Yeah, but you
have people that join the military, they stay in the military and become career officers. That does happen. It's a smaller percentage. A lot of people will do, however many tours, and then either they burn out, they get killed, they get PTSD, they go AWOL, or they just don't. They're done, and then they go on to have some other career.
Mm-hmm. No, it's...
And while Starfleet isn't exactly going to Iraq in under questionable circumstances, it's... I don't know. I would love to see more interesting stories rather than, like you said, it's like, oh, and they made Captain.
Yeah, because people with different futures. Like
Starfleet generates a lot of lifers.
No, I think about and I know possible. We bring this up. We bring up The Sims a lot because, of course, we do because it's the one video game I play. And any career track your sim joins, almost all of them it's just a linear track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You start in the mailroom. You go next to whatever the next thing up is. You always end up as the CEO every single time. It's always the same track.
No, they later added 2 forked career paths. I like the forked ones because one of them is the criminal path, which is the funnest path. Because you can either be a criminal mastermind or something else. I forget what the other something is. I can't remember because Sim Liz becomes a supervillain. I think what was that? Sims 2 they had supervillain?
Oh, possibly.
That is criminal mastermind. But your work uniform, you turn around and you go from like J. Crew outfit to just like unitard with pointy bits on the shoulders.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
What is kind of annoying the fact that like by this point they've already because like you said, we saw fucking Captain Bev, we saw Captain Geordi in that timeline that got wiped out by that episode of Voyager. Mm-hmm. The one with Gruff Harry.
Yeah.
Timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like some of the Captain Bev doesn't really make sense. Captain Geordi doesn't really make sense.
True.
He's an engineer. Like if any character becoming Captain somebody actually would make sense is Kim.
Yeah.
Like he feels like he's a Starfleet's probably been his dream since he was fucking 5. And, like, again, if it just hadn't already been overdone so much, you'd be like, no, of course, if anyone's going to stick around, it's going to be him.
Well, and it's also touching, now this is tweaking another pet peeve of mine of the notion of everyone's natural progression in a career being into some leadership position, as if it's just another job that it's where everybody goes. But not everybody has leadership skills or interest.
Yeah, exactly.
I was asked once, do you want to? We have an opening for a supervisor in your department, and I said no, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
Don't give me people
I'm sitting there
to manage. Give me
people to make me a supervisor again.
Yeah, again, Geordi, chief engineer, sure. Did I ever get the sense that Geordi wanted to captain a ship? Not really.
No.
In fact,
because he's always weird with people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a hollow ship, you see, Liz.
It would be so uncomfortable for him.
Yeah. That is something All Good Things did pretty well, was that most of them weren't in Starfleet anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Data was a professor. Geordi was a civilian in some capacity, though we don't know what.
Crusher was a captain.
Yes, yeah. Didn't make it... I mean, it was a medical ship, so it kind of made sense, but it's still a little weird. But...
Troy was dead.
Right. Yeah, Troy was dead.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. But yeah, that changed, and yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I have a fair amount of respect for Blue Shirt Picard from Tapestry, where he was just a mediocre dude doing just mediocre shit. Being mediocre is A-okay.
Blue Shirt Picard is career goals, even if nowadays people would say he's quiet quitting.
Like honestly, Blue Shirt Picard probably had much more time to do like archaeology shit and bang women and all the stuff that Red Shirt Picard loves to do but never has the time.
We're working to live instead of living to work.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus he can't bang his crew because that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good thing he didn't end up on Voyager though, because then he'd have to go on the field trip with Janeway. With the other mediocre kids.
Oh God, the field trip. Yes, good.
Yes.
Getting back to this. So we have our normal season finale, season premiere, 2-parter with a 3-month break in between. And I realize the last thing we see in part 1 is them getting assimilated. Mm-hmm. Great, fun place to end an episode. Sure, it's a little best of both worlds, and we've done this before, but I don't even care. Familiar? I don't care because Torres and Tuvok and Janeway look great.
I disagree about Janeway.
She looks great.
I hated her makeup.
They added a lot of wrinkles, which was not on her usual face.
That was weird.
The lingering shot on her at the end of the episode was like, why does she look like a confused old grandpa?
But yeah, she looked
so
confused. No, see, she didn't look sad or stern. Yeah, she just looked vaguely confounded, like they hadn't told Mulgrew that they'd set action.
Oh, God.
Did anyone tell Kate we were filming? I don't think so, but we already sent her.
Now she'll figure it out.
And then we have a 3-month break before we realize this was part of the plan. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of fascinating. Like, you don't realize that this is it going horribly wrong.
No, actually, because towards the end, Chakotay does go, all right, so far everything's going to plan. Like, he literally does say it.
Was that in part 1?
Yeah. They fucked up. They gave away the twist.
I don't remember that being in part 1.
Yeah, no, because I remember thinking, like, they probably did this on purpose. And then Chakotay went, so far, so good, or something like that.
But they hadn't been assimilated yet. Because they end on the being assimilated. The last shot we see is Janeway being a Borg.
Oh, okay.
Was it them being captured that he said that on?
Yeah, but that's I guess I assume that meant they were supposed to get captured. So,
oh.
Like.
Okay. But it's still 3 months of people being like, was this part of the plan?
Fair, yeah.
And I loved Torres' little sub-vocal processor. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was
the one fun thing they let her do.
I know. It's not even like she's still pregnant and has less to do. We just keep forgetting you're a character. What's happening now?
Sarah McLachlan, guys.
Why?
Because somewhere out there is a dog looking sad.
Somewhere out there is a Delta Flyer looking exploded.
We'll never see another Delta Flyer again, guys.
Oh, I forgot they kerploded her.
Rip Delta Flyer.
Tom actually didn't even seem to really notice or care, so it's probably.
I mean, he must have known it was part of it.
Oh yeah, it was totally part of the plan.
He was in a double bad mood. It's like, great, B'Elanna might get killed, and they're blowing up my toy. How can this day get any worse?
No, that's when they ran out of chocolate pudding at the mess hall.
Okay, at least I got promoted over Harry again.
Suck it, Harry.
And roundabouts.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, Janeway, man, she is out of her mind. What a plan. One thing I was a little unclear on, was that always part of the plan? Like, when Tuvok and B'Elanna were first volunteering, had getting purposely assimilated been part of the plan? Or was that added later, and did they go, hey, can I change my mind?
Yeah, because it didn't come up during the conference meeting where they decided it.
No, it was later. She's like, it must have been decided. She's like, yeah, I'll be in sick bay and all that.
I don't know. I feel like it was already determined, and it was just not something that we, as the audience, got to hear from that conference meeting, because it sounded like they already had the plan.
It probably is, but it is kind of funnier to think she's like, hey guys, you still up for this this whole invading the Borg thing? Like, oh yeah, sure. Okay, one new addition. We're going to purposely get caught. Sorry, what?
But I mean, it also explains like why Tom was so freaked out. You know what I mean? Like if this had already been decided.
I mean, just going to a Borg cube at all is good enough reason to be like, you're insane.
Nah.
Yeah, especially since this is one of the big ones. This is one that has like shields on shields on shields.
Yeah, and extra plating.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like
bits.
It seems like a plan that was come up with so that it would look cool on TV and be a good cliffhanger. It doesn't seem like an actual sound plan by the crew.
I think Janeway is nothing if not ostentatious.
See, I could see them doing like doctor, give us some implants and make us look Borgy, and then we'll beam over there, because they weren't really Borgy.
But they wouldn't be able to get through the shields.
The only thing that they needed that was to be able to get through the shields. But I feel like that could have just been written around some other way, because honestly,
no, it's too cool for an episode though. Like they are thinking about this. Like this is going to be a great moment at the end of our season finale. People are going to get so hyped for season 7. They're going to be spreading rumors on which ones of them are going to get killed in the Borg cube. All this thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the very least, it's a good finale to end. It's a good moment to end a finale on, because just how are they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Even if it is part of the plan, there's going to be something that goes wrong. There always is.
Especially when the plan is this fucking crackers.
Yeah.
It did, again, I think, slightly suffer from the very common Star Trek issue of they had too much for one episode, but maybe not quite enough for 2.
Well, that's why they added the romance plot.
No, I know. I wish they
give 7
added
something to
else.
do.
Yeah. Like, maybe if they just let her spend more time just being Annika.
They could have. There were other people that occupied that space that knew her. It would have been interesting to look into just her relationships with other people in general. You know, if she was a valid member, was she the more prominent member of this community? Was she something of a leader, or did what was her life? This whole gap in her memory.
Yeah, well, especially like there's even that moment where she meets Laura. And it's like, oh, you're human, and like, oh, maybe they had an extra connection because they were both human and they had a friendship too. But Laura's barely in it, and it feels like she's going to be more important because she's human. She was at Wolf 359 because everybody human that's ever been assimilated was at Wolf 359. Apparently,
I mean, honestly, that's probably true because
it's where
else were humans being assimilated?
I'm sure there were other times after that, and it's been a while since Wolf 359.
Yeah, that was a big loss.
They could have picked up a cup. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
The thing is, I feel like the Borg
will have come from there.
The Borg only attacked Earth 2 times at this point. They attacked it in Wolf 359, and then they attacked it in First Contact. But they got their asses handed to them First Contact. Yeah. I mean, they got their asses handed to them in Wolf 359 as well, but apparently enough of them got away, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, obviously the majority of the humans would have come from that, but some could have come from, the First Contact around Earth, or, I'm sure there's been little border losses here and there.
Yeah, the Hansons.
Those idiots.
Well, they were fucking morons is what they are.
Yeah.
Where did Riley, Chakotay's little fuck friend, come from?
I was so confused for a second because I immediately jumped to Kevin Riley and I was like, what the hell
God,
are you talking
no, Riley
about?
Fraser.
Yes, yeah. Was she
actually human?
Wasn't she?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a pretty human name.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, I can't remember if they said. They might have said. It was probably Wolf 359.
When in doubt, Wolf 359.
Damn it. Not lone officer Riley Fraser.
Need money fast.
Okay, yeah. Science officer USS Roosevelt, so she was Starfleet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I remember.
The Roosevelt,
I don't remember where she got assimilated, but no, yeah, you're right. She definitely was.
Wolf 359.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Human. I mean, Wolf 359 was pretty fucking devastating.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that a statistically significant amount of their humans came from Wolf 359.
I think what's interesting is that we see so many human Borgs. Like, we just probably shouldn't see a lot of human Borgs, especially in the Delta Quadrant.
There should be a metric fuck ton of Elorian Borg.
Oh, God, you're right. But they look mostly like human.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
But yeah, we meet a lot of human Borgs. We meet, Except for the Klingon Borg in this one.
He was fun.
Oh, I loved Korog. Korog at the end, too. Like, totally badassing his way around a Borg sphere. Fucking yes.
Yeah, no,
Can we keep him?
I don't know why Korok doesn't give Voyager transwarp shit. Like like the Queen promised Voyager some transwarp shit. Presumably Korok could have hooked him up, given him one of those fancy batteries.
You'd think, yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Womp womp.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
I thought it.
Oh, here's a question I wrote down is, do you think they have to give residuals from this episode to Brent Spiner, who does star in this episode, because one of the heads that the Queen has her Borg droids poking into is that data head that they had laying around.
From Time Zero?
From Time Zero.
Oh my goodness.
And wherever else they use this data head. I think it may have been like the lore head too or whatever, but...
Yeah, lore's got a head.
Yes, true.
I think that... No, never mind. I was gonna say he's probably been in more individual series than anyone else, but no, that's clearly Frakes. Never mind. That's funny. Probably not, but
yeah,
it'd be kind of amusing if they did.
Yeah, if you look closer, you're like, yep, that's Brent Spiner. That's great.
Look at that. That was another weird thing, like just putting them on spikes. It's like, that's again, it feels like that's to freak people out who aren't in the room.
Have these heads put on the gates at the Borg city. Queen, we're in space. I said city.
Listen, they got that space city there.
Yeah, that's true. They do have their fancy space city.
Is that what's that? What do they call it? Is that just Unimatrix 1 or is it Borgton?
Borgton. Borgberg.
Borgberg.
Borgham. Borgham.
We built this city We built this city on a simulation.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Lovely.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, a lot of thoughts on this, huh?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Like it was actually straightforward and
Yeah, it was entertaining.
yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I wasn't super entertained.
It wasn't not my favorite episode or even like cliffhanger.
Well, no, we all know the best cliffhanger was Time Zero Part 1.
The best
Naturally.
cliffhanger was Krug when he was hanging off that cliff.
Ah!
No, he did a terrible job at hanging off that cliff, if I recall.
And he was doing a great job till Kirk came and fucked everything up.
Yeah, well, Kirk had enough of him, so.
Here's an actual question. Here's a question, bringing
Yes.
it back to our favorite thing, Harry. Harry getting his ass handed to him all the time.
Oh, Harry.
The Borg Queen calls up the ship in Part 1. And, threateningly doing the thing. What can you do with this information I've given you? See you later, Harry.
Yeah.
What was that about?
That was amazing. That was her just fucking with him.
And then Harry had to go change his pants.
I bet you, like, there was earlier, she was going to be like, I'm going to congratulate Harry Kim on his promotion as a joke. That'll flip him out.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Because he was the one that answered the phone. So.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys also like Paris? There was a cute little Paris Chakotay scene in which Paris is like, hey, what if I mutiny? And Chakotay's like, you're not going to mutiny. I could never mutiny, and I'm roughly the same amount of badass as you, right? Yeah, you're not going to do it. And Paris is like, yeah, you're right.
You're the fucking ship's dad, okay? You're not going to mutiny.
It is funny because I think he basically says some line to Tom almost verbatim that Janeway said to him, and Beltran gives a little like, that's what that feels like face. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah. See, we
I
could have had
think
more
this
of those
episode-
character moments instead of a freaking unnecessary romance.
Yeah.
Maybe. The thing is, I didn't mind the romance. Like, if it weren't the romance, it would have been something else.
Yeah, I didn't mind
just-
it, but I also just felt like it was unnecessary. And
I was
could have filled
bothered
that-
mainly because it was unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like they could have just been fucking friends television.
they were fucking friends.
Yeah. Honestly, even if they were just fuck buddies, fine. But it was a romance.
What if we got... See, here's the thing. If they were to do this episode with New Trek sensibilities, Unimatrix Zero would just be a nonstop orgy.
And here's the thing. That's definitely what it was until the first child showed up. And then they were like, well, guess we're going to keep our
your pants on, I guess.
Unimatrix Zero is probably pretty big. There's probably other sections that are just very hedonistic.
There's a whole area that is just a big-ass D&D game.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then the other one is a D&V game.
Yeah.
I was going to say DDR, but you went that way.
Ooh.
Last note I have. Tuvok, who's like feeling the effects of being the assimilated and all this thing, and losing who Tuvok is. A couple nice, cute little moments. You are Tuvok. You were born this date. Your daughter was born this date. Yada yada yada. And he realizes, nope, I can't do this any longer. Janeway, you have to deactivate me. And she says, no, Tuvok, we can do this. Your name is Tuvok. And then he won't comply. He's Borgman now. Janeway reaches for him. And then there's a shield that takes her away. She was gonna deactivate him.
It's funny too that he was already using the term deactivate, not fucking kill.
Yeah, that was
he would be
hardcore.
technically correct.
Yeah.
Which is the
best kind
Vulcan,
of correct.
the Vulcan kind of correct.
Exactly. Oh, so my last note.
Yeah.
That is, it's just, I've been dumped before, but never with our previous friendship is irrelevant.
Oh yeah, that is. Oof. That is harsh.
Well, and first she tried to pretend she didn't remember him, that's really bold. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Yeah, overall, I don't know. I think this episode was trying too hard to just be best of both worlds.
It's a good thing to try to be.
Yeah, I know, but it's invariably going to be compared to Best of Both Worlds, which is regarded as one of the best episodes of TNG, and I don't think this quite lives up to it. It's not a bad episode. It's just I think it's underwhelming for me.
The
That's
ending is
actually
better
a really
than
good
the
way
rest.
to put it. Sorry, go ahead, Ames.
No, I was going to say, like, I remember Best of Both Worlds feeling like part 2 was the energy lagged.
That is true.
In this one, it didn't. In this one, I think its part 2 was better than the part 2 for Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Yeah.
Possibly.
They do often stumble in the part 2 in general with these.
Yeah, it's clear that they had written this one out.
They had a plan.
Yeah,
which is a rarity.
They at least had a full outline for both parts.
Yeah, I'll definitely give them credit for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, I mean, I think that's just my thought in general on this season is just most episodes, even the ones that I didn't particularly like, or the ones that were like for most of them were just fine.
Yeah, I love how smoothly we're segueing. This is beautiful. Thank you, Liz.
It's a majority fine season.
Yeah. Like I
didn't hate watching most of these episodes. No. It wasn't even that it's fine, I'm underwhelmed, I'm sad that I'm watching this. It's like, all right, that was an interesting episode. I like the concept,
I have things to think about after this episode.
I didn't hate Fairhaven.
Wow. You're better than the rest of us, Liz.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate Fairhaven. I didn't like the second Fairhaven episode.
The one that Chris loved.
See, I kind of like that
whatever
one.
the fuck it's called.
Yeah, Spirit Folk.
We'll see if it's on Chris's
y'all
list.
Y'all can have it.
I mean, also delete the wife. I was happy to see that.
This is where memes are made. It is always fun when you see where the meme comes from and you say, I get it. That's it. And then you do the Leonardo DiCaprio point.
Yeah. Though also for that part in particular, it was just Ames as a fellow Sims player. There's something a little creepily relatable about just summon up this one character. We're going to bring him up and create a sim.
Yep.
We're gonna move these sliders. And we're going to just
Why
take
is he wearing go-go boots?
Move her to the trash. Oh no, now there's a question mark on his head for no reason.
So who's first?
Me.
All right, give us your tops, Caitlin.
Oh, confident Caitlin.
It's because I actually have a list for once.
So proud of you.
So in no particular order. Well, actually, first I want to give a shout out to my also ran, because I really thought about giving it to Riddles, but I didn't. I did, however, give it to Memorial.
Sweet.
Because it was a very thought-provoking episode, and because we just got a lot of really great, performances.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Out of, we had Tom and his flip out at B'Elanna. We had Ethan Phillips.
Oh, in the kitchen.
In the kitchen with the kid.
I love that scene.
Yeah, and again, just a really interesting portrayal and look at PTSD, which I thought was great. I kind of questioning myself on this now, but I said blink of an eye.
Do it. It's considered one of the best, if not the best Voyager episode, so.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good. I liked how we kept seeing the changes, and I like how, in the end we wind up getting to talk to people and, working it out. I don't know, I liked it. And then my top, I guess, was Lifeline.
Okay, yeah.
I love the EMH anyway, and I liked getting to watch Picardo do two different characters and really getting to have fun with it. And, a side of Barclay.
Troy actually did a help.
I like a little broccoli on the side, and a little side of broccoli. And yeah, Troy was good. So it was nice. Anyway, that was my tops.
Awesome. Love them. I'll build off that in that case, because I got some overlap, and I got if you weren't gonna say Riddles, I'm saying Riddles, because I love the Tuvok Neelix scenes in Riddles. They are
so good,
so stunningly acted, and they're just these heartwarming moments of watching someone who's had a health crisis rehabilitating, and they actually handled it in a really nice way. And sure, they made him go back to who he was, and it's heartbreaking, but it's a really solid and emotion heavy episode, and I really appreciated that. So Riddles, definitely on the list. I'm also going to agree with Memorial, because it was a really cool episode, and I love the way that it made us think about things afterwards. And I know you guys, gave a lot of shit to how, they made the wrong decision, yada, 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 but I think it was really worth having that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that was like the big thing to come out of that episode is like, how do we learn from history? Because you know what? We keep repeating it over and over because no one learns from fucking history. Yeah. Like, I think Caitlin asked at one point, like, we were trying to liken something in the episode to the Holocaust. And it's like, oh, about genocides and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but there have been more genocides still since then, and more genocides going on. So no, we haven't learned. And maybe we all need this memorial obelisk after all.
I mean, what we just need to do is stop letting rich people exist. That would solve everything.
Maybe only the people in power have to watch the memorial obelisk.
There we go.
And they'll learn. And the other one on my list is another one we learn history, because it's One Small Step, which is our Phil Morris episode, because I love him. I love him so much. I don't even care what else happened in that episode. It had Phil Morris being a cute little astronaut, and it was so cute.
If I would have given myself the space to have a second, like, honorable mention, that would have been it. Because that was definitely a great episode, too.
I would give an honorable mention to the Phil Morris parts of One Small Step. The rest of the episode I thought was a mess.
Too bad. I'm including it.
No, that's fair. It's your list. It would be wrong of me to say you can't.
Well, what's your list, Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Great List guy over here.
Oh, my list is fucking, well, no. One of them is good. The other two, I think, will be
subjective.
Anyway, Spirit Folk.
I knew it.
I hated
Christ.
Fairhaven so much. I fucking loathed Fairhaven.
You did. I'm sure it'll be on your other list.
I haven't decided yet. There's some contenders. I'm still not sure.
Oh, this is fascinating.
Yeah, genuinely. It's a potential. I'm gonna call an audible.
So what do you love about Spirit Folk?
It made me like Michael and Janeway. It's like, okay, now I get it. I enjoyed it was just goofy in a way I was okay with.
You like Seamus? You sympathize with Seamus?
I didn't sympathize with him, but I found his stupidity amusing. Yeah, no, it was a well enough done comedy episode, which they don't always nail. And yeah, no, I thought it was terrific. And I was like, great, you make me care about these characters right as they're going to never show up again.
Aww. No, we promise. We're still running the program every day. Once a week? I think it's once a week.
Pathfinder.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I like
a lot of Barkley here.
What a great, that was Jesus, that was also an honorable mention. They're all good. Every episode that you guys have said are good. Jesus.
Like, I'll admit, I think part of it is too, that little end scene is just done so well that it probably ups my average a bit on it.
Remind us the end scene you're talking about?
When they actually first get in touch with the ship and just everyone on the bridge is reacting, and especially Mulgrew.
And they don't let Tom say hi to his dad. Dicks.
But even before that, it was nice to kind of like, I think I said it, we talked about, like, they were kind of treating Reg a little more seriously. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy has a genuine addiction issue that has to be addressed in an adult manner, not just treated as like, oh, wacky.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice.
The only episode this season to feature a cat.
True.
Neelix the cat. Oh. Pretty kitty.
I wonder if it's because it's like Felix.
Oh.
That's probably just
Well, also, like, I think it's also kind of a nod to the fact that Neelix originally was more cat-like.
Yeah. And number one, Riddles.
Oh, sweet.
Riddles is so good.
Because goddamn, that's a good episode.
Wow.
That's a great, mostly, it's mostly Phillips and Russ, and they're great.
And a cake. Delicious.
Yes,
good. Yeah, so I think my list might be the most controversial.
Oh my God.
It's just Fairhaven 3 times.
Yes, you've got it. So I'll start with the uncontroversial one, I think, which is Blink of an Eye.
Nice.
Which many people agree is a top-notch episode.
Yeah, very cool storytelling in that.
I'm going to go with Child's Play.
Oh, with Icheb's parents.
With Icheb's parents.
That's a good choice.
I honestly considered that one too. That's a great episode too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's an interesting exploration of how dark shit gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Seven wants to save him when she realizes, wow, his parents really suck.
Yeah. And
they're worse than mine.
I think more so than comparing it to today's episode where they tried to add depth to Seven by giving her a useless romance, I think that episode actually did add considerable depth to that character.
Yeah.
Making her a surrogate parent.
Well, and also even, we said at the time, but like, Janeway tries to be all like, oh, this is really about your parents. It's like, yeah, it fucking is.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And
Honest
also
Seven.
Like, Mark Shepard did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to see him and stuff.
Yep.
All right, now this one I think Ames will be angry with me.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, I know what it is.
Spirit folk.
I'm writing it down.
Tinker Tenor, Dr. Spy. Yes.
No, I thought that was a good episode.
It's a fun episode.
It's a goofy comedy episode. I will fully admit it's a nostalgia pick for me just because I have always liked that episode.
It's a good ass episode.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's got some stupid shit in it. It's got some shit I don't care for. The figure painting scene among them. Yeah. Could probably done without that, but I think there's a lot of good things, a lot of things to like in that episode. It's a great Doctor romp. Yeah, that's my list.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a single bad pick on any of these lists.
No, that was the bad pick.
No, I kind of I wasn't considering that one, but it definitely wasn't one that I was like, ugh, not in a million years. I don't know. What about you, Liz? Did you put us together a list?
I did. And I mean, there's not going to really be anything new here because I would say, so Blink of an Eye was the first one to come, obviously, to jump onto my list, especially since it's just, it's a fun sort of, well, not fun. I mean, it's an interesting sort of, what's it? Why am I suddenly blanking on the damn episode with Picard and the flute?
Oh, Inner Light.
Inner Light.
Like, that's sort of like, just grander, like lifetime, like human story. It's just very classic sci-fi. I like whenever Star Trek does like this classic, like mid 20th century sci-fi kind of vibe. And there's this high concept because it's one of those, like, when you think too much into the mechanics of it, it kind of, it ruins it for, you ruin it for yourself, but you're not meant to. Like, you're supposed to just run with the concept and the poetry of it, of the story. And I really like that sort of, and also it was really fun to see Daniel Day Kim. I was not expecting to see Daniel Day Kim show up in Voyager.
Yay. He
which
must
is
have
very
been
cool.
lost.
And then Memorial is another one. Just I was not expecting such a good treatment of PTSD and a discussion of PTSD and just these collective experiences, and and I feel like, even as they were dealing with the problem, they were like the emotional, the show of vulnerability while also, doing the heroic thing of solving this, like it was dark in all the ways that I love this kind of stuff. It was morally ambiguous in delightful ways, or in ways that delight me anyway. Just the fact that they could come up with that they had an ending that leads to an argument. Like there really is no right answer. In a way that's kind of like the Tuvix episodes. Another one where just it sparks like an ethical question in such a good way that a good sci-fi story does.
It wants to be in textbooks.
It's a sci-fi trolley problem. Like, it's a what if. It's a what if that is just it's just speculative fiction enough that like it's not something that is likely to happen anytime in the near future, but it is still real enough that the ethics and the stakes of it will spark a really good debate. And I think like the kind of debate where you really, you get to, you're exposing your own morality and ethics to the people you're talking to. I love those kind of.
I remember like there was a lot of like feeling just horrified by it when we covered it for the show.
Yeah.
Because it's forced on people without their knowledge, and it's like,
absolutely.
Damn.
It's violating the consent of random strangers, but at the same time, it's coming from a real place of hurt of people who've been horribly violated themselves and who are doing what they think is necessary to prevent it in the future. Like it's conversations of justification, ends justifying the means, and necessary evil. I love it. I love
when
it.
Star Trek does that.
I just want to point out I just want to point out that Memorial has a lower score on IMDb than Tsunkatse.
IMDb is fucking useless.
True.
Yeah.
We've said it before.
And we didn't hate Tsunkatse either, but...
No, but I mean, there's no comparing the two.
No.
I mean...
Yeah. Yeah. And then my third one, I was bouncing around, but I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Pathfinder.
Nice.
Great episode.
The one with the kitty. Good choice.
The one with the kitty. I liked
Most
that.
kitties.
Troy was probably this was Troy at, maybe not necessarily her least incompetent as a psychologist, but like up there. They actually show her, because like what Troy as a counselor, like, it's always driven me crazy, and I know I've talked about it. You've given me space to complain about psychology on Star Trek.
Complain about it, Liz.
And therapy. I hate the 90s pop therapy. Like, it's just like it's the same, era of terrible stereotyping about psychology that like it's all the stuff. That's all the fun stuff went into Frasier.
I was just gonna say, like,
all
this
the
is
really
Troy
frustrating stuff is here, because this is all just like, how do you feel about that? And then like that's it. It's therapists being utterly useless and unhelpful, and like just everything that a boomer would complain about it. But here, in this one, she's not terrible. She's actually, helping him to address the problem in his own way. It's just she's written by people who don't care about therapy, and that's clearly not, it's a soft science that they didn't bother to do much consulting on that they would for physics.
That's true, yeah.
Because, what are the soft sciences? The human mind is a simple thing. Why would you bother to study that?
This does beg the question, though, which is better, not getting anyone to talk with you, to consult with you about psychology, or getting a fake indigenous peoples expert?
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing so much red right now. I can't parse. It does not compute. I'm shutting down.
No, you're broke, Liz.
Nope, I'm broken. No, it's cool. But that, and I did like that. Like, I did not expect to root for Barclay episodes so much. But so that in itself impressed me. But I like, it's like you were saying, Chris, like that final moment, like they built it up nicely where I'm sitting there like, rationally, I knew like, the natural progression of this episode, I don't think they're going to end it quite like on such a tragic near miss note that they don't actually connect with Voyager, or like, maybe
they used up all of their tragedy, like near miss quota with that fucking second Silverbloods episode.
Yeah.
They are not allowed to ever be that tragic ever the fuck again.
I knew it was a I wouldn't put it entirely past them, but rationally, I'm like, this is going to be the episode where they have to make some progress. Like, they have to make some progress in the series plot somewhere, and it's going to be here. But I was still sitting there like, is it going to happen? No, don't let him out of the room. No, don't let it happen. Like, I was actually like absorbed.
Oh,
I was actually interested.
That's the sign of a good episode.
And, like, it was really satisfying. And on top of that, the last moment with Tom Paris, for all your snark about it, Ames, like, I loved the fact that Tom, was like, he's such a little shit, and he was rendered speechless. And he was rendered speechless in such a visibly emotional way. Like, that was probably my favorite Tom Paris moment.
The guy who's always got something to say had
nothing. And he couldn't bring himself to say anything because he was just so overcome, like it was
I'll have to
great.
rewatch the scene. I'll have to rewatch it because maybe I'm not giving Robbie enough credit. Maybe he's doing more work than
I thought it was a really good moment for him.
Nice.
So that was, and honorable mention for One Small Step. I liked all the astronaut moments. And Child's Play was pretty good. But yeah, that's my tops.
Oh, yeah. Also honorable mention to Fake Vok from Live Fast and Prosper.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, that's the one I thought one of you would bring up. I'm very sad because I had a screen grab from that episode ready to go.
It was in consideration. It didn't quite make it.
Oh, wow.
I have to,
Your
at the
list
very
is
least,
good, though, so.
I have to at least bring up Fake Vok. He was the best.
And I loved how, starstruck he was when they met.
I know.
Oh,
so cute.
Yeah. He was having so much fun.
He was.
This was his favorite scam.
It was.
But we weren't always having fun. When weren't we having fun, Caitlin?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Well, I certainly don't think we were having fun on the Barge of the Dead.
Nope. I had no fun.
Didn't care for it?
No.
You know what? I'm doing a split second change here. I had Muse down, and Muse does kind of suck. But I think what I'm going to swap in is Fury. Because I thought it was pointless. And especially after we talked about what a fucked up thing it was to do to the actress. Like, I already thought the episode was fucking stupid, and then thinking about everything all the background shit. It's just like, no, fuck that episode. So fuck Fury, and fuck especially the spirit folk.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck the spirit folk in particular.
Well, Janeway was one of them anyway.
No, he wasn't a fairy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I meant he's not one of the fair folk.
No, I know that's what you meant.
Oh.
Fair folk. I don't know. Harry tried, so.
He did, but Tom fucked that up for him.
Yeah, he wasn't going to go all the way with a cow. All right, so just to make up for Jake being horribly wrong about his tops. No. I definitely, I'm so troubled by Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy. It's going to be my 3 slot, because I walk out of that episode not liking the Doctor. Just finding him to be crass and self-absorbed and not likable in the way that he is basically all the rest of the time. Like, even with his kind of faults, you're like, yeah, that's just how he is, and it's kind of funny. In this one, he's just a straight-up jerk. I hated the Painting 7 scene, and I know that was Picardo's idea, which makes it feel stupider. And also, I remember the other thing about Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy, that alien Phlox. I never was on his side. I always disliked him because he's a toady in a, what word are we looking for? Fascistic society. Yeah, a bureaucratic, fascistic society. And that's his role, and he fully accepts it. And he
looks like a potato.
And he looks like a turd.
He looks like a delicious tater. Precious.
A potato.
Yeah, so that one, that one rubs me the wrong way. I had to put it on my list.
Fair enough.
Also on my list are Fairhaven, because Janeway, what the fuck? Why? This has never been a problem before. You fucked Burley every which way but loose, and now suddenly you're like, oh, I love a holodeck character. Janeway, no. Wrong. But I think the worst this season for me is Barge of the Dead. Because they just go and they decide, you know what? Grey Thor is real. Everything that, you can just go to Grey Thor if you want, if you're nearly dead. You can go find your dying mom and save her. It just plays to this weird, it's the same like they did in like Sacred Ground, where they try to play to like religious aspects of something and they just whiff hard.
Yep.
B'Elanna did look cute in her little Klingon outfit, though.
Yeah, it's true. She always looked good in a Klingon outfit.
How about you, Chris? Do you look in the Klingon outfit?
Time to call that audible.
Ooh.
You know what? Fairhaven's not quite making it after all that.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Came close. Came fucking close. Also, One Small Step is lucky it had Phil Morris. Because he drags that episode kicking and screaming out of the bottom 3s.
Wow. What didn't you like about One Small Step? Chakotay was being an idiot?
Yeah, everyone was being so ridiculously out of character. They were doing really stupidly risky things for they didn't know they were gonna find the intact ship in there. They thought they might find some scrap, and they were willing to take that. Everyone felt completely wrong, but Phil Morris's scenes were really fucking good. So
I think even 7's scenes were pretty good.
They were all right. So, in that case, my number 3, Good Shepherd.
Oh, good. A bad choice. Oh, good, bad choice.
A terrible version of Lower Decks. 2, Barge of the Dead.
Yeah.
What the fuck did I just watch?
Someone having some kind of a fever dream.
Yeah, except they claimed it was real, maybe.
Yep. You can visit it again if you just go back to sleep. Son of a bitch.
And Fury.
Yeah.
Because I remember, this episode stuck with me. because I remembered this episode. This is one I did see when I was a kid. And I didn't know the background at the time. But I just remember thinking, this seems weird for Kes.
Yeah.
And now I'm an adult and know the background, and it's this whole extra layer of fucking horrible. Fuck you, Rick Berman, as we very frequently say. Fuck this episode, you fucking monster.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
Tell us how you really feel, Jake.
I will. Nothing very surprising or original of this list. I think all of these have been said.
Oh, you're saying Tinker Tenor Dr. Spy, then?
That's right. It's a rare case. It's both my favorite and least favorite episode. No, I'm going to go
Schrodinger's episode.
I'm going to say Fairhaven.
Aha.
Which, I think it's maybe not as bad as I think it is. But it's just such a nothing episode.
It's not good.
It's not good.
And also, there just weren't a lot that were like super, super bad this season.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there were a couple. I mean, I also, to be fair, I wasn't crazy about Spirit Folk. It's not on my bottom, but, not far. Okay, now we get into the spot of weirdness here. Not weirdness, but...
What?
I'm not sure. I know Fairhaven was going to be on the list. I know one of the other ones are going to be on the list. And then there's two that were fighting for a spot on the list.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Give one of them a batleth.
I know. Well, actually, I'm going to take one of their batleths away and go with Good Shepherd. Good Shepherd for the bottom.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was, I don't know, none of the characters were good.
No.
Nope.
Janeway's whole plan was stupid. Yeah, I could not bring myself to give a shit about the characters because they were all awful.
Yeah, no, especially like guy that spaced himself. I was like,
yeah,
you don't have to go back for him.
Well, and like they went out of their way. They went out of their way to be like, oh, Tal is she's just incompetent. It's not like It's not like, oh, there's a hidden talent that we haven't tapped into. No, she just sucks. That's just who she is.
Yeah.
They each had one trait. Billy was only a hypochondriac and nothing else.
And they took that away from him at the end.
Now he's nothing. He's left with nothing.
Honestly, no, what it is, now that he's not so afraid of sickness, he is the ship's man whore.
Oh, no.
He is making up for lost time.
He's like, it's no longer Tom, it's Billy's time to shine.
Watch out,
but
Delaney
I thought
sisters.
that we decided that they had already gotten rid of all STIs by the 24th century.
He could still be afraid of them.
I guess so.
He'll find them.
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
Yes. And then, of course, no bottoms list could be complete without Furry. I mean, Fury. Yeah, I mean, for all the reasons that have been said already, I mean, it's, sure, there's the off-screen drama and the backstory, which is tragic and horrifying. But even if without knowing that story considering the episode on the merits of it as an episode.
And you use that term loosely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, they do the character of Kes dirty.
Yeah.
Super dirty. Like I said.
They forget what made Kes cool.
Yeah, when I was a kid and didn't know all the background, I still thought, this isn't her. This isn't Kes. She was
this should be like a shapeshifter or something, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
So that's how I know it's bad. It stuck with me over 20-odd years of not making sense.
Yeah. And then just like the way it ends, too. It's just, it's so rushed. It just kind of stops, no real resolution. Just nope. Kes is like, oh, thank you for reminding me that I'm not an asshole or whatever. And then leaves. And then she goes and doesn't even say goodbye to anybody except for Neelix, I guess.
That's the important one.
Yeah, but no, this definitely is like on my list of episodes I pretend does not exist.
So it's sounding like a bottom 5.
Potentially.
For the whole last series.
We got time.
But what about Liz?
Oh, what about Liz? I actually, surprisingly, I just jotted down 3 and didn't need to narrow it down.
Oh wow!
I mean, Barge of the Dead. It was Barge of the Dead. It's not on. That one's not actually on my list. So if there were a dishonorable mention, it would probably be that. But just because I have so little memory, because I remember watching and being like, this is kind of dumb Klingon shit, but particularly dumb. I was able to tune out and just listen to Klingon shit going on in the background. Fine.
Oh yeah, Blah looks cute. We're good.
So that's enough. That's not quite grievous enough to make it to the list for me for this season. Fury, I'll just mention right off the bat since everybody else has mentioned Fury. I learned from listening to you guys the horrible background behind it, and that's awful. But for me, it was the rushed aspect. It was the fact that they're just like Cass had her story had been wrapped up in a nice season finale way to send her off and to advance the main plot in a way like she was fine where she was, and they said to bring her back for one episode and just wreck all of that for no justifiable reason.
Yep.
If they were to bring her back, at least that would be like a two-parter, something with weight to it.
Yeah.
This did not have that. And
also write her in character next time.
I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, they could, I would have been interested to see something like this if she came back like this, and this was Cass, and this was her characterization now. But then you need to unpack how she was so horribly, what happened to her out there in the darkness of space.
Yeah.
That messed her up so badly. It would have to be something dramatic, but instead somehow Palpatine has returned. Right. I sense you're troubled.
I sense you have feelings.
So yeah, Fury. Ugh. The Good Shepherd is another one that I have in common with some of you. Concept could have been fine. Execution was just all around. I'm just saying every turn. I'm just really why.
Janeway just walks in and makes all the decisions anyway.
Yeah, and it was so facile. Like in a show where I'm so where we get treated to so many episodes where there aren't easy answers and there aren't easy endings, and the episode, an episode will let you sit with that discomfort. Here it's just and we're just gonna wrap it up. I've magically cured each one of them of something, or we're all happy with where we're at the end.
They're all still comatose at the moment, but when they wake up, I promise they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. There's no proof in the episode that they are not all, in fact, actually dead.
Well, okay, in the episode, that's true.
So, why? Why did I have to watch that and be left so unsatisfied?
To be fair, you didn't have to watch it. You could have done something else with your time.
I had to complete it. So that I could listen to you guys.
Aw, thank you so much for watching that for us.
And understand, and just I had to complete it so that I could fully hate it. And then I guess this is going to be my own unique addition is Alice.
Oh yeah, Alice was good.
Alice is probably the worst of the season for me, just because I hated watching every minute of it.
That's fair.
Because the concept was so tired.
I don't know if you can see it. It's crossed out. It's at the top.
There we go.
It was the first one that I thought of, and then I decided to change it.
You coward.
Oh God! It's just so tired. It's such a tired concept. It's such a tired trope. It's even Alice's voice. I was like, oh God, it's another just 2-bit femme fatale voice. Every second, I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of this. This is just. Nothing of this is satisfying to watch. Nothing of this is interesting to watch. I'm not wondering how this is going to turn out. It's going to be a predictable formula how this is going to turn out. I want this to be over. I want this to be done. This was the one episode that I was watching. I was like, I do not want to watch another minute of this. I'm not enjoying the performances in this. In a cast full of people I enjoy watching, I'm not enjoying watching any of this. I want this to stop. The uniforms are dumb. The acting, this is all so tired. What is the next episode? What is going to happen on another episode that is not this? So
right, because at the end, you're not going to have known any of the stuff that happened before in this episode. It's never going to be important. This changes
nothing. There was nothing Tom didn't grow any. There was nothing interesting that came out of this for Tom.
He grew that 5 o'clock shadow.
He does look good with a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, he looks all right.
That's right. Yeah, well, thank you, Liz, for having Alice on the list, because I had seriously considered it. Was that the one?
Was it your last minute call, Jake, or no?
Yeah.
Oh well, then I'm glad to be of service, but also
Liz.
Fuck Alice.
Yeah, Alice really does suck.
One little honorable mention, though, because we have shit on the episode, rightly so. A Good Shepherd. I do want to say, though, Tom Morello's cameo
Oh,
yes.
Okay, that was a one bright moment.
Adorable fucking thing.
That was good. I like that.
That is like a light in an otherwise just massive pile of shit.
Why would you put a light in a pile of shit?
So you don't step on it by accident.
Oh, there you
go. Whose cameo? What? I'm not remembering. What happened?
He was Tom Morello was that blue shirt that Janeway knew in the bowels of the ship, and he was so happy to be there.
He's the lead singer of fuck me.
No, he was a lead guitarist of Rage Against the Machine.
That's one. Thank you.
And
forgot about that.
And a Harvard alum.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ivy League degree in government.
Oh, that's right. That's cool.
Because his grandfather was an activist in, I believe, Kenya.
No
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So he comes by his tenure in Rage Against the Machine, honestly.
Yeah.
And every day we're getting closer and closer to Enterprise, guys.
It's nuts. It
has been a long time.
A long road.
We're going to make that joke so hard on the first episode.
We've already made it so many times. But yeah, no, it is fucking bonkers that we are in the 7th season of Voyager.
Yeah, I feel like this one feels like it's gone quicker than any of the other shows we've covered, that have 7 seasons worth of shows.
I would agree with that, actually.
Life is getting increasingly terrifying, and every day is another just roller coaster of madness and loathing.
Neat. Thank you, Chris. Speaking of which, that brings us to what we're doing next week. On this mad roller coaster of loathing. Next week, we have more episodes to talk about. The episodes are, we're already jumping into season 7. So the episodes are Imperfection and Drive. So definitely check us out next week for that. You can also be hanging out on our Tumblr. So all the episodes we just talked about being good and or bad. Several that are both amazing.
Is this the first time we've had 2 on? I know we've had ones appear on both lists before, but is this the first time
the animated series had 2?
Okay, yeah,
but that was special because nothing was good on the animated series.
Yeah, that was which one hurt the least usually. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so these will be up on the Tumblr. You can check out the additional snark and screen grabs that I've put in. Go to sshbpodcast.com or just search the Tumblr or just click in the links below. It's right there. Clickety click. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. You can click those if you want to. More clicking. We're also right here, but no longer because I'm heading out. This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
And this is Liz. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Liz, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us in the Unimatrix Zero.
And Balana's just woken up again.
Good, make her squeak.
For a second, I thought you said Balana, and I was like, okay.
Perfect timing.
Wait, hang on.
Balana, that would be a good name for a cat.
Aww.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's such a beautiful girl.
Mom says Alice sucked.
I was watching a video the other day where some people were watching and commenting on Death Wish, I think 4, or maybe it was 3. One of them.
Video game?
No, Charles Bronson movie from the 80s.
I believe you.
And I'm kind of half watching it, half fucking on my phone. But then I hear someone say something, and I'm like, what? Is that Tim Russ? And I backed up, and yep, it was a young Tim Russ.
Ooh.
Someone almost hit him with a car, and he goes, "The brake's on the left!"
Nice.
Wow, we ain't found shit.
Yeah, it was that tone, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, that's good.